February 28. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. $5 million has been allocated to continue works on the Palisades shore and road project in the next fiscal year. The money has been set aside in the 2018-2019 estimates of expenditure and will be used to undertake the continued monitoring of mangroves under the environmental sub-project. The overall project aims to protect the integrity and viability of the investments made by the government and ensure that Jamaicans have reliable access between home, school, healthcare facilities, and work. It also seeks to make the corridor less susceptible to flooding while also protecting the Kingston Harbour from storm surges. The project, which began in July 2010, is scheduled to end in February 2020. Hagley Park Road in St. Andrew is among the number of roadways to be upgraded and improved this fiscal year. PBCJ understands that the 3.3-kilometer stretch is to be widened to 4 lanes, and new traffic lights are to be installed at a number of intersections to improve the flow of traffic along the busy corridor that runs from Halfway Tree to Portia Simpson Miller Square. The improvement works will also provide for the construction of sidewalks and the installation of street lights along the corridor. The cost of road improvement works on Constant Spring Road and Barbican Road in St. Andrew is to come from the allocation, as well as a cost of commencing the Ferris to Macfield Road rehabilitation project in Westmoreland. Jamaica is upgrading its pre-warning systems to reduce the impact of natural disasters on the Jamaican people and infrastructure. The move is being funded through a loan from the World Bank and other international investors, which was signed in 2016. This led to the implementation of the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project. This project is held under a partnership between the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, and the University of the West Indies Mona Earthquake Unit, with a budget of approximately $83 million. General Manager of Project Management at the JSIF, Loy Malcolm, explains.
Jamaica is in fact one of the most vulnerable countries in the world, actually. By virtue of its location, we are vulnerable to hurricanes, earthquakes, sea level rise, and all the other issues that come about with climate change, which is a reality that we are facing now.
Ms. Malcolm was speaking at a recent JIS think tank session. The money has been used to purchase a number of key seismic equipment, which, among other things, enables the responsible entities to monitor an earthquake's magnitude, as well as measure the horizontal force an earthquake has on a building. Other investments include the support of the rehabilitation or reconstruction of vulnerable buildings, the provision of 6 fire trucks, as well as solar systems, which will ensure the functioning of these systems, even in the case of power outages.
The project is focused on disaster risk reduction and building the resilience of Jamaica to climate risk. And so it is critical that we mainstream across agencies the ability to use data and information to inform the decisions, the development decisions that we make as a country.
Another key advantage of applying these systems is the accurate accumulation of scientific data, as opposed to word-of-mouth information, as a representative of the UWI Mona Earthquake Unit stated during the session. The Police Force's Safety and Security Branch has set its sights on preventing youngsters from being lured into criminal gangs. That's according to Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Steve McGregor, who heads the unit. Making reference to a curfew program he implemented when he was in charge of the Kingston Western Division, and which was successful in getting youngsters off the streets by 9 p.m., McGregor says he intended to widen the measure to other communities. Speaking on the theme, Tackling the Beast, perspectives on crime and violence in Jamaica at the Rotary Club of Kingston St. Andrew Luncheon yesterday. McGregor said, quote, "Our young people make up the bulk of those who are being killed, and equally, they've become the bulk of those who are doing the killing. So anything that we're going to devise must be focused around the young people," end quote. Gangs, he said, also target the youth because they have clean records and are not on the police's radar. He also suggested a widening of the Safe School program, saying that his police resource officers will work with guidance counselors and the deans of discipline. In regional news, concern is being raised about the hiring of executives at Caribbean Airlines. A report in yesterday's issue of Trinidad's Express newspaper says the vacancies are being filled by former employees of the Irish-owned telecommunications company Digicel. According to the Express report, the recruitments have triggered concerns about nepotism in CAL's hiring practices. Sources say former Digicel executive Garvin Madeira, who was recruited as a Caribbean Airlines CEO last year, is on a hiring spree, given that the company had initiated a recruitment freeze and the jobs were advertised and filled after he assumed office. The newspaper report says there is also concern about the lack of aviation experience in the company's recent recruitments. An injunction has been filed in Barbuda preventing voting on their sister island Antigua in the upcoming election. Barbuda People's Movement, the BPM, is trying to prevent the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission moving forward with plans to have citizens from the sister island vote in the upcoming Antigua election. The injunction was filed in the High Court on Tuesday. BPM political leader Trevor Walker said that the Electoral Commission is concocted.
I feel that that decision was concocted, and I make no apologies with that. I've met persons on the road in Antigua saying, "Oh, we're going to win the polls because you all have to vote here, and there's more control of the main Antigua Labour Party and influence with them on the Barbudans." So we feel it's concocted, and we're of the view that the law does not give them that right to move the poll over here. We're of the view that Section 25 of the Representation of the People Act clearly states that the only way that can be done is if there are special circumstances that exist.
He said as well that most residents in Barbuda do not want to go to Antigua to vote.
99% of the Barbudans are saying they do not want to come over here to vote, because they saying to me, then they removed us forcefully from Barbuda. Then they say we're squatters, we don't own the land. Now we have to come over here to vote. So they say, what next? And when you want to go to the toilet, they're going to say you have to go to Antigua. I mean, so Barbudans are not very happy with that.
In the meantime, the opposition United Progressive Party leader Harold Lovell said that early polls has come as no surprise and they're ready for battle.
You can expect to see a full-blown campaign. We have already planned our rallies. Our paraphernalia is in place. Our manifesto is almost ready. Our candidates are named and are working in the various constituencies. Our billboards will be up. Our posters will be put up. So we're just waiting for the bell, and we're ready to roll.
Energy giant ExxonMobil has made another major oil find offshore Guyana. Natural Resources Minister Raphael Trotman made the announcement following Tuesday meeting at the cabinet.
More details of this latest discovery, which has occurred within the last 48 hours, will be shared with the nation as we continue to have an aggressive program of exploration and, of course, as we proceed towards production in 2020. So to date, we have overseen the drilling of 7 wells by Exxon, 6 of which have borne fruit in that they have proven good. 1 has not. But we have so far an excellent record, and I'd like to congratulate the crew of the Stena Carron, which has been the ship that has done 90% of the discoveries without a day loss or any injury or any man-hours lost, and that is commendable. And of course, it has been done in a very efficient way.
In sports, following last week's withdrawal of defending 60-meter hurdles champion Omar McLeod and sprint hurdles Russell Burton and Janine Williams, Jamaica's team to the IAAF World Indoor Championships in Birmingham, England, has been hit by another late withdrawal. National 400 meters outdoor record holder Rasheen McDonald was unable to leave on Tuesday afternoon with the rest of the team as his British visa expired on Monday. It's understood that McDonald had not advised the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association that he would require a new visa and only realized the visa in his passport had expired when he tried to check in to board his flight. The rest of the local-based teams are now en route to Birmingham for the March 1-4 championship. We're on the cricket pitch as West Indies skipper Jason Holder believes the ICC World Cup qualifiers will provide the precious momentum for the Windies as they take aim at a third World Cup's title slated for England next year. The two-time champions have been forced to go through the May 4 to 25 qualifiers in order to reach the World Cup after finishing outside the top 8 of the ICC one-day ranking. Holder says the West Indies is keen on clinching a third title.
Everybody understands the importance of a World Cup and being in the World Cup. We've obviously won the World Cup on 2 occasions, and I think we're trying to formulate our plans in terms of getting a third. We've done well in T20 cricket, we've done well in women's cricket, under 19 cricket. So I think it's about time now we win another World Cup in the ODI format.
In 2017, the West Indies won only 3 out of 23 one-day matches. Holder says the qualifiers provided an opportunity for the team to find consistency in their form.
Over the last few years, we probably haven't played the cricket we would have liked to play. Having said that, as I said before, all the guys are motivated and we know what's at stake. I see it as an opportunity, as an opportunity for us to grab some momentum heading into next year's World Cup. Get some games under our belt, just to finalize some points. Hopefully turn our cricket around in terms of the ODI format. It's probably one of our weaker formats, and no doubt that we've been inconsistent. Obviously, it's something that we've addressed, and I think moving forward, hopefully we should see some good performances.
And that's the news. Stay with us. The weather report is next. This is PBCJ's weather report. Thanks so much for staying with us. Let's start as usual with our local currents. In Kingston this afternoon, we're seeing a temperature just about 28 degrees Celsius, and we're also seeing a forecast of sunny skies. We're seeing that the sun is set to go down at 6:33 p.m. as will the temperature. That should go down to just about 21 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast for Kingston. We're seeing sunny skies throughout the rest of the week, and we're also seeing temperatures between 18 and 29 degrees Celsius. We could be getting some rainfall though on Sunday. We're seeing a 50% chance of rainfall on that day. Let's take a look at our forecast today for Antigua Bay, St. James. We're seeing sunny skies and cloudy conditions forecast for this afternoon, a temperature just at 27 degrees Celsius. We're seeing that we could have some rainfall in St. James this evening as the temperature goes down to just about 13 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at what could happen over the next 7 days for Antigua Bay. We could be getting rainfall on Thursday. Should be pretty sunny out for the rest of the week leading into mid next week. We're also seeing temperatures between 19 and 27 degrees Celsius. Across the island today for the other parishes, we could be getting rainfall over there in Negril today and also in the central parishes and northern eastern end of the island as well. We're also seeing temperatures between 27 and 29 degrees Celsius. In our forecast for tomorrow, temperatures between 27 and 29 degrees Celsius as well. We're also seeing scattered showers in the hilly inland areas and the northern end of the island. Should be pretty sunny out over there in Maypen, Clarendon, and of course in St. Elizabeth. We're looking at cloudy conditions though for St. Thomas. In our forecast today, for those of us who are traveling across the region, we're seeing rainfall possible for Havana, Cuba over there in Santo Domingo and in St. George's, Grenada as well. We're seeing sunny skies but cloudy conditions forecast for Antigua. Temperatures between 24 and 28 degrees Celsius are forecast across the Caribbean region for today. Let's take a look at what's expected for tomorrow for the region. We're seeing temperatures between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius. We're also seeing some cloudy conditions across the region and a forecast of rainfall over there in St. George's, Grenada. And further afield, over in the United States, sunny skies, cloudy conditions forecast for Los Angeles tomorrow, as well as Miami and New York. Possible snowfall for Atlanta. We're seeing minimum temperatures between 2 degrees Celsius, a high 27 degrees Celsius for these areas. And that's it for the weather report. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.